I'd like to show you something about functions, writing your own functions in PHP. A function is a piece of code you can reuse very easily. And when you declare a function, you write the keyword function and then the name of the function you're writing, followed by parentheses, and then you open and close a code block. Whatever code you write inside the curly braces will be the function body. That's the code you'll reuse whenever you call the function. So if I go and write echo hello friend inside a function called greet, save and take a look in my browser, you'll notice that I see absolutely nothing. And that's what you'd expect, since this is a function declaration. This declares what a function should do when it's called. In order to use a function, you must call it first. It doesn't run by itself. So I have to call the function greet. And I do that simply by writing greet and having that somewhere in my code will call the function declared with the name greet. So now that I call greet, I'd expect an echo hello friend, which is what I get. Excellent. Now whenever you're writing functions, I usually recommend you avoid echoes. And instead of echo, I recommend you return strings. If you want to have an output, have functions return rather than echo. In order to get an actual output to your browser, you put the echo outside the function. So this change will give me exactly the same result. So why do it? Why add the extra return and put the echo outside? I do that because when I get a string back from the function greet, I can then go and manipulate the string before or as I echo it. So if I have the echo inside, I'm pretty much locked in. That's the only thing I can do with the string is echo it. If I return the string, I can manipulate the string or whatever I get back from the function before I use it. So by returning strings or other values from functions, you get greater flexibility. Your functions are easier to reuse. Like in this case, where I can reuse greet function for two different to create two different expressions. Hello friend, would you like to play? Hello friend, would you like to do something else? So by using return instead of echo inside your functions will be more reusable. They'll be more flexible. Alright, I think I'd like my function here to return a paragraph. And I think I'd like to make it a little more reusable. This function will always return hello friend, and I'd like it to return sometimes hello Brennan, for example, to put a name on one of my friends, or some other name. So I add a parameter to the parenthesis to the function signature, if you like. I add a variable name. I declare actually a parameter is a kind of a variable, and I declare a variable with the name friend inside the parenthesis, and I reuse that variable, that parameter, in the return string. So with that in place, I can now echo greet Brennan, or I could echo greet Alan or some other name. So with the same one function, I can have it return different things. Hello Brennan, hello Alan. And that's possible by the use of a parameter. So the parameter is the thing that varies. The hello never varies. But sometimes I'll hello Brennan and sometimes I'll hello Alan or some other name. So the friend part, the parameter, is that which varies. I can do even more with parameters. It's really great to get your head wrapped around parameters. Once you get to understand functions with parameters, you'll be able to write code that's very, very flexible. Let's add another parameter here, greeting. And instead of hello, let's have greeting. And then, because the function greet is defined, it has a signature with two parameters. First, a friend, next, a greeting. I must call it with first a name, next a greeting. Let's add another friend to the list here, Julio. Hello. So I've got three echoes. Each one calls the function greet, passes a name of a friend and a greeting. So the first call should give me hello Brennan, next good morning Alan, last hello Julio. Hello Brennan, good morning Alan, hello Julio. And as this is progressing, I get the idea that most of the time my greeting should be hello. Sometimes it'll be good morning, sometimes it'll be something else, but most of the time it'll be hello. When that is the case, I can make the second parameter, the greeting parameter, optional by giving it a default value. Most of the time it should be hello. So whenever it's hello, I can call the greet function without my greeting parameter. So if I want to use hello, just pass a name and hello will be dropped in by default. If I want to use something different from hello, then I need to pass two parameters, the name and the greeting. So here we are. Hello Brennan, hello Julio, good morning Alan. This part here is an optional parameter. It's a parameter I don't need to pass, but I can pass if I need it. I'd like to repeat all of that in a different function. Let's invite a friend to do something. Again, I'll create a paragraph and return that. And friend, would you like to activity? Question mark. Brennan, would you like to play? Alan, would you like to, I don't know. There are a couple of examples here. Julio, would you like to develop a website? Whatever. So what I've got here is another function invite that I can call with a name and an activity. And most of the time I notice I'm going to use play. That's my default activity, I guess you could say. So I'm going to use an optional parameter with a default value play. Whenever I want to play with one of my friends, I don't need to call invite. With the second parameter, it's only if I want to do things that are different from playing that I add that second parameter. So Brennan, would you like to play? Alan, would you like to play? Julio, would you like to develop a website? So that's covering a lot of ground. Function declarations, function names, function parameters, optional parameters with default values, return values rather than echoes, but I'd like to show you one last thing. I'd like to show you variable function calls. So if I create a variable do that has the value invite and another variable with the value make a website, no, rubbish, with some name. I could echo do with. So do $do is a variable that holds the string invite. And because that string invite is followed by a parenthesis, PHP will understand it as if I call the invite function and pass along Brennan as the first parameter. So this little statement here will have an output of Brennan, would you like to play? And if I change the value of do to greet, well, then the greet function will be called. So this is a variable function call. Whatever this variable holds will be the name of the function to call. In this implementation here, it's not enormously useful, but it's this basic mechanism I really like to use for building dynamic websites with dynamic views. And all the details for that are covered in my book Magic PHP. So I don't want to go into any details right now. For now, I'd like you to realize that functions in PHP can be called with a variable. You can use a variable function call. Wrap your head around that, and you will have no trouble understanding how I go about building dynamic websites in my book. Thanks for watching.